Hey guys, it's Danny Elliott. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me today. So Mark Zuckerberg has an enemies list for his Facebook consumers. Everybody with a pulse already knows that, right guys? If you posted something during the crisis that didn't fit the government and mainstream narrative, and somebody ratted you out to the Facebook police, you got banned. Or in my case, you could still post what's on your mind, but just nobody could see it anymore, right? But Zuckerberg also has a block list to keep workers from getting a job at Meta, even if they exceeded performance expectations. All it takes to get banned is one manager. Maybe it was the big girl who thought you were cute at work, right? And you politely rejected her. You tried to be as nice as you could possibly be. Doesn't matter. You're banned. You have to accept these advances no matter what. A senior engineer caught up in Meta's mass layoff spree of 2022, who worked at the company for over 4 years, who exceeded expectations on performance reviews and had recently earned a coveted promotion to senior level titleist, was fired as, quote, simply a business decision. And since then, multiple hiring managers from Meta have been trying to recruit him back onto their teams. After applying to dozens of positions, he noticed a pattern. Hiring managers would indicate interest in him and schedule a recruiting call, and then the recruiters would ghost him because he was, quote, ineligible for rehire. So in essence, he was banned even though he exceeded performance expectations. Even though he had a perfect 5 out of 5 on every performance review, he was still banned. Quote, that was the first time I had a real indication that I was on some kind of list, unquote. Meta has 2 naughty badges they award to their ex-workers: non-regrettable attrition and do not rehire. And it doesn't matter which one you have because you can never work there again. Another director said the block list was impeding him from rehiring multiple qualified candidates he wanted to recruit. Many other employees affected by the mass layoffs, who were given a month to find new internal roles after their programs were canceled, also found out they were blocked from transferring within the company. So essentially, they had no other choice but to be terminated. If you can't transfer to a different role within the company and your program is being canceled, then you're fired. You're done. It's game over at that point. While block lists aren't illegal, they are unusual, employment and human resources experts said. Sure. Former workers told Business Insider that they were banned from rejoining Meta despite perfect records of high-quality job performance. A Meta spokesperson told Fortune magazine, quote, it is false that those who leave in good standing are not eligible for rehire based on, quote, internal lists or, quote, manager discretion. However, 2 former managers from Meta who spoke with Business Insider said that managers often have broad discretion to add names to these lists without documented performance issues. For you public relations majors out there, that's called manager discretion. So that was a lie. A former manager at Meta said, quote, if a manager didn't like you, it wasn't hard to put someone on a blocked list. Managers at the company were able to put people on lists by, quote, just filling out a form and, quote, putting in any real issue. In other words, you pick a reason and you check the box and then they're on the list. It would, quote, take minutes to get someone marked as non-regrettable. The manager would get an email asking if it was non-regrettable attrition or not. Sounds like manager discretion. And there's been a recent increase in posts from career counselor types on social media that, the job hopping era is over and, days are numbered for the quiet quitters and the coffee badgers, that the people in non-customer facing roles who don't like being forced into the office just to use the internet. Seems to make a lot more sense with the recent news now, doesn't it, guys? By the way, it's Friday. Jamie Dimon's calling. He wants you to come to the office for a mandatory meeting. He won't take no for an answer. You better be there. Workplace experts say employer block lists are common. Most companies have regretted and non-regretted attrition lists, Jennifer Dulski, a software company CEO, said. And the block lists are rarely published and almost never shared with the individuals affected. Quote, it's definitely something we're seeing more often now, particularly in the tech industry. And among an infinite list of offenses which could get you banned, Dulski said, quote, it's possible that speaking out against company values could get someone on a blocked list. Delsky also said, quote, "One way someone could find out if they are on the blocked list is when they are denied interviews early in the process, seemingly without any explanation. But even if you ask respectfully and professionally, HR can simply lie straight to your face, and there's nothing you can really do about it." When asked about whether a company has a block list, Courtney Mancini, who works for Google, told Fortune, quote, "This is not true," unquote. However, according to employees who commented on the story, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Whole Foods, Home Depot, and other corporates all have block lists. So, sorry, Courtney, that was a lie. Another commenter said, quote, "Amazon insists if you get fired, they will never rehire you. And someone who took a buyout from Amazon went to work for Whole Foods. And then when Amazon bought Whole Foods, he was told to find other work." So basically, even if you agree to an offer which benefits your employer, like a buyout, that event is a black mark on your permanent record. And it can be held against you at any future employer where you apply, or it can be held against you when you apply for an internal transfer, or if your company is bought by another company, and those two companies are now sharing human resources data, and you're on the wrong side of things, right, guys? New management having different tastes, or a shift in corporate culture are reasons you could be banned, which are out of your control, they said. Candidates who were the right fit can abruptly become a misfit in the view of the new bosses. Workforce changes are an echo chamber of, quote, "what's best for business." And corporations say change is needed to drive efficiency in company culture, even if it's unpopular. Quote, "What puts people on a block list is dependent on the company culture and leadership, and can change over time, particularly if there's a changing of the guard in the C-suite," Delsky said. And employment law attorney Mitchell Epner told Business Insider that it's common for severance agreements to include provisions barring former employees from reapplying. Another employment attorney, Ashley Hurd, told Business Insider that companies maintaining such lists is not illegal unless the lists disproportionately affect protected classes. But this would never be discovered anyways, because the lists are top secret company records and they don't have to share them with anybody. So you would really never find this out, and it would never actually emerge as a case against the company. So they can blackball you for any or no reason, and they just have to pick a reason off the list, like we said earlier. Hurd added that it's, quote, "really a terrible practice because you're missing out on talent, especially people that know your business." Yeah, so it's not really about business. It's about a mood. It's about a whole vibe. You're either with us or you're against us, right? It's time for new leadership. You just got to get on board or get out of the way. We're going to synergize. We're going to integrate. We're going to unleash efficiencies to propel us forward into the future, bro. In other words, it's whatever. Because now you're banned, so who the hell cares about all this fizzy-fuzzy corporate buzzword bullshit anyways, right, guys? Just do what I did. Stop providing your valuable content, your talents, and your skills to clowns like Mark Zuckerberg. Take your business elsewhere. Find a place where your clients appreciate what you bring to the table, where your colleagues will deal with you fairly, ethically, and professionally. And that's how real businesses work. And that's where you should be. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm Danny Elliott.